I want to ask you about some of the prisoners in this country and in your country. There are about 5 Americans being held in Tehran, including a scholar from Princeton, an 81-year-old man who we've talked about, Bakr Namazi, who is of failing health. What are their conditions right now?
Well, as you pointed out, there are many Iranian prisoners, both in the United States as well as people who, including a lady who had to give birth in an Australian prison because of a U.S. extradition request. Our judiciary is an independent organ, just what you would say about your courts, and we cannot have an impact on the decisions of our judiciary, but we have been trying to use our influence from a humanitarian perspective. First of all, in order to make sure that their health requirements are taken care of, as well as to see whether a humanitarian agreement can be reached.
But would you agree to sit down with the Trump administration to talk about these prisoners?
Well, it is important, as I said, for the administration to show the ability to engage in a respectful discourse.
Well, they've said they've made an offer to Iran. We want to sit down and talk to you about these consular visits and these prisoners.
It's not an offer, it's a demand. But before you make demands, the United States needs to learn how to treat other sovereign nations, particularly sovereign nations who do not depend on the United States for continued existence and who can live without U.S. support, not only for 2 weeks, but for 40 years.
So you don't want to sit down and negotiate about this, but
no,
is there
I didn't
something
say that.
you'd want to see?
I said the United States needs to approach this from a position of dealing with another sovereign government, and if that approach were to change, then the United States would see a different result.
What does that mean? What do you want to see?
Respect.
How?
Just respect. You do not engage in negotiations by exercising disrespect for a country, for its people, for its government, by openly making claims, including this illusion about regime change. Then you do not leave much room for a genuine dialogue.
So a prisoner swap in the future, like you had with the Obama administration, you don't see that happening again?
Well, it is a possibility, certainly from a humanitarian perspective, but it requires a change of attitude.
And a change of language from the president?
And a change of language.